You have multiple destinations really in one experience, yet you don't have the hassle of packing and unpacking. This destination, this floating resort, more or less transports your guests, your award winners, to different and exciting ports of call.
Team building, the camaraderie that comes together, unlike any place on land.
You know, Joe, we've been talking about cruising and the ship itself. Let's talk about what else. I mean, why is a cruise so special? And what makes a cruise very special is where it goes, as well as what is on the ship. And I remember distinctly that I was on a cruise that was going up the Bosphorus into Istanbul, and I was on the back deck with a client, and we were just about ready to go into the Dardanelles, and he looked at me and he said, "This is splendid. This is magic. This is just so special, and my attendees are going to love this. They're just going to eat this up." And it's all about the experience. This was an incentive. And on an incentive, you want to create that experience and something that they really can't get anywhere on their own. This was a full ship charter, and all I could think about was imagining his attendees having the same experience that he was just experiencing. And the sun was setting, we had a glass of wine. It was very special.
Capturing the imagination.
Capture the imagination.
Cruises really do that. And you know, one of my favorite memories is about a client who thought that she would introduce the cruise, you know, the big reveal, by, at the year's prior program, she talked about the fact that in evaluating destinations, they were seeing the votes that people had put in, and some people wanted to go to Jamaica, some people wanted to go to San Juan, some people wanted to go here, there, and everywhere. So when they came to announcing the cruise, she mentioned that. You know, we were thinking about Jamaica, we were thinking about St. Bart, we were thinking about here and there, and so she said, but we decided instead we're going to go to all of those places. Well, the room went crazy because the idea of the travel experience and being able to see a lot of places in one trip was
and having the ship take you from place to place and introduce you. I mean, in Europe, you can go to 4 different countries in a 5-day cruise or a 6-day cruise. And how can you do that by land? And you certainly couldn't do it towing a group behind you.
And you certainly can't do it in US dollars, which you can with a ship because you contract in US dollars to go to Europe or any international destination. Mm-hmm. So there's no worry about rate of exchange. There's no worry about feeding people in Europe or European hotel prices, but still people are having the experience. And you know, when you arrive in European cities, it's the way early explorers arrived. That's why so many of Europe's great cities are on the water, one way or the other.
My favorite is Malta. Oh my God, arriving into Valletta, into Malta, and seeing those beautiful ramparts and all of the white, it's just, it brings tears to your eyes. And if you have somebody, a group that really is very well traveled, we've got that covered too. There's a lot of smaller, more exploration, exotic ships that go into little nooks and crannies into the glaciers in Alaska, or we can take you to the Galapagos Islands, and maybe over into Singapore and all through Asia. I mean, the sky's the limit when it comes to cruising.
Lots of great destinations, small ports, and lots of smaller ships around these days too. And the rivers, exploring Europe's rivers.
Oh, great.
Oh my goodness, a ship with 100 people and you just kind of waltz ashore. The transportation authorities don't get involved in these smaller ships. So that's kind of an easier thing to do also.
Yeah, and you can just bike ride along the side of the ship. I mean, it's just really nice and casual.
And you mentioned Alaska. You know, a lot of people have that someday they want to do Alaska. Well, you can't drive to Alaska. You can't get to Juneau except by flying or by boat. Mm-hmm. So taking any number of people to see Alaska, really a ship is the only way to go.
You're right.
And the most delightful way to go. So the sports activities ashore, the sightseeing, the animals.
It's very special.